Good.
Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
I just have to start the show by saying I love the playoffs so much. What a freaking game 3 at the Rock. What is up, guys? How is everybody doing today?
I am drunk and tired. So we're good.
Hey,
How-
Let's roll.
On a scale of 1 to 10 drunk, where are you?
Oh, 6.
I should have kind of figured that out with the backwards hat. You never ever wear your hat
No.
backwards when you're sober.
I just felt I'm tired of the front ones. It's just the light that I have beaming on my
Jesus,
bald
Nick.
head.
why
Yeah,
don't you
remember when I did the show after opening day 2 years ago from
Yeah.
Edison Ave?
yeah.
That was a 10, right? So this is only
Yeah.
like a 6.
All right. I have a light directly above my head that gives Jesus light like yours. And I
Yeah.
bought a couple of like regular lights to just kind of put on the outside of my desk, and I turned that one off. So
To take the
Yeah,
reflection
there
off
you
your head.
go.
I gotta try
just
that.
a thought. Just
I have
thought
one
if
of
you
those.
want to try.
I have one of those ring lights. Like,
Yeah, that's what I have
Yeah.
behind me in a regular house lamp.
Yeah.
Guys,
Tim had to do his hair real quick before the show, so he stuck his finger in the
guys,
socket.
I was holding my head like this the entire
Yeah.
overtime, and now my hair isn't going back in place. So it is what it is. I'm going.
and Bob
Oh,
and I
hair
are dude, you
problems.
seriously look like
Yeah.
a fucking crazy person.
I mean, have you met me? I am kind of a crazy person.
I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Sun. I like it. I like it a lot. You know what else I like? That we made it a fucking series, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. Who else had Nemec with a double overtime game winner on their bingo card? Right.
I forgot he was in the game.
Come on, he had an
He had a
outstanding,
great game.
an outstanding game. Like the whole decor. Dumoulin played, I think, 35 minutes. Like, what a warrior that guy is. I mean,
Pesci had a
God
fucking
love-
great game.
huge
I
game.
mean,
Siegenthaler, like, hey, let's ease him back in.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
2 penalties.
Narrator voice, we did not ease him back in.
They even said on the broadcast, I was watching the TNT broadcast, and they were like, and Siegenthaler's back out there. Yeah, he's a little over 20 minutes because that's where Keith said he wanted to keep him
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
And you know what else I love? And I actually titled the show this during Jacob Markstrom's interview with Rachel just a few minutes ago, yesterday, actually.
Would have been
he
cool to
said-
hear that.
Yeah.
He
or see it.
said,
HBO Max. fucking
I,
cheap.
my audio went back on. Mine was off, and then it went back on, and so I heard the goal, and you guys didn't.
I heard the
that's-
goal.
Oh no, I heard the goal.
I heard
Oh,
the goal.
okay,
Like
so
the
it did go
first,
back on.
like maybe minute and a half or so.
Yeah.
Second overtime, like dead silence. Then it came back on for the goal, and then after that, it just cut out again. So it didn't hear
When the
Okay.
3
any
stars were coming out, it was just
Yeah,
silent.
nothing.
I
Like I thought
So
my
I-
dog was sitting on the remote.
thought I went deaf. I was like,
It's
all
a
of a
horrible
sudden,
feeling, isn't it?
I
Now it
was
happened.
like,
Yeah,
honey,
yeah.
can you
Terrible
hear me?
feeling.
Can I hear myself? When you're deaf, can you hear yourself? And I went through this whole thing in my head, but I realized I wasn't deaf. But
Yeah,
it
so-
freaked me
so
out
what-
for a split
So
second.
if you see what Dubs just said, like he's absolutely
not.
right, man. The D just stayed like we just stayed between the dots, and I think we had maybe 30 block shots tonight.
You guys know
like,
what we did?
We won.
We out
won?
fucking caned the Canes tonight. That's
Yeah,
what
we
we did.
We did.
And
You know what? Also, we did. We won 3-2 in overtime in Game 3 when being down 2-0 in a series, which has happened before.
except the difference is this one's going 6, not 7.
Oh yeah.
Right. I called 6. I also called 3-2 on this game, so I got that. Didn't get the goal scores right, like at all, but I'll take a small win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bobby, what were your thoughts here, man? I want to hear what you thought about the game.
I mean, it was very stressful. Okay, 'cause
Yes.
I kind of went into it like low expectations. I thought they were going to win as a fan, but the reality was, I'm like, I just didn't want to get too up. And then the first period, I thought they played great. I thought if they play like that, this is our game. Second period was kind of shit. Third period, they started out 2-0. I walked right over to here. I set up all the podcast gear because our agreement was if they win in regulation or soon after, we're doing a pod. If they lose, fuck that shit. We're not doing it. So I set everything up. I'm like so psyched. By the time I get back to my TV, it's like 2-1. I'm like, okay, not a big deal. We'll be all right. And it's 2-2. And then, yeah, the whole thing just kind of started to scare the shit out of me. But listen, they pulled it out. It's a really gutsy effort, okay? Not only were they down to 5D, one of the D hadn't played in 2.5 months. So you're basically down to 4.5. The other guy is Nemec, who, although has played a great game and a great game the day before and got the game winner today, he's still, a rookie.
Green is goose shit.
So I was very nervous.
Not to mention it's like Dougie's 5th game back from,
Exactly.
Everything said we should lose this game, which is kind of the reason why in the back of my mind, I knew we weren't going to lose this game because there's the type of games you win when everybody just digs really deep. But my God, I mean, at the end, you got to really tip your cap to the Devils. They gave everything they could to pull this out. The way we played after game 1, right? The last 2 games, it really has me thinking, like, if we had our actual squad, I don't think this is a series. I think this is 3-0 Devils right now. But we don't have our squad. And I started to think about that whole injuries aren't excuses. And I was like, you know what? That's bullshit. They really are. If we're playing the Edmonton Oilers and, their best players get injured, that's a benefit to us. I'm going to say, oh, we don't have to deal with McDavid today. It is a benefit. So when you think about the players we've lost, and even the ones that have come back that are nowhere near 100%, it is an excuse. So for the team to kind of pull together and pull out this win, I think it's right. I think that this is going to move them to another win in the next home game, and all we have to do is steal the one game in Carolina. We're not losing again in this series.
Yeah, I think right now all the momentum is in the Devils' corner. This win was huge for exactly what you said. Like, there were no passengers tonight, man. Everybody brought everything they could, left it on the ice, and they deserved that win. Other than maybe the first 10 minutes of the second period, the Devils were the better team out there. And, that's what – and the Canes also know that they, kind of got lucky in Raleigh in game 2, and that game could have easily swung the other way. They take any portion of this series lightly, and the Devils keep playing the way they are. The Devils, tie it up on Sunday, make it a best of 3, and fuck them.
Like we've. It almost seems like we've figured them out a little bit. Like first game, we got kind of the doors blown off us. That was just a bad game. Like they didn't play well. They were kind of feeling them out, and the Canes hit the ground running. We're ready to play.
I call that the aw shucks game. The aw shucks, we're in the playoffs, and then oh fuck, we got to play real playoff hockey.
DJ's live from Reds. I love that.
That's where I want to be right now.
But I was about to say the exact same thing
hi.
that Mike Ruff just said is that the Canes have played the same game every game. We've gotten just light years better game to game, and the difference between this game and the second game was in the second period we didn't get scored on. Like they had the same push back in the second period in both games, but we were able to keep the shot volume down. We were able to keep them kind of out to the outside. Didn't go up any real bad chances. They just kind of got a little tired, I think, in the third, and that fucking delay game. Like you see that coming. They got pinned in the zone. A couple of failed clears. That high flip shit really makes me nervous, man, because if you don't get enough on it or get it high enough, like guys at the blue line, they're good enough with their glove to just pull it down and get it right back deep. And that's what Carolina does. That's how they capitalize on you is, they capitalize in those second, third, fourth chances. So that sucked. I really wish our power play could fucking figure it out. But I'm not gonna complain about anything. Markstrom is outstanding again. That save he made at the end of the third.
I think we got to tip our caps here to both goaltenders so far in this series. I think the goaltending has been so fucking good in this thing.
Right.
I mean, from both sides. I mean, it's Freddie Anderson's been playing a lot better than I thought Freddie Anderson was going to play. And
until Nemo's goal, he let that.
I mean,
I'll do
that save with with Timo, that was a like, hey, look what I got. Like, I know it looks great optically, like he made this amazing save.
He's played
He
well,
had
man.
no
You
chance,
can't,
but that's the only place he could put his glove.
but you can't
And
say he
Timo happened to
hasn't
put it
played
in there.
well.
No, he's played
No,
great.
no,
I'm just
no,
saying
but
that
that's
save was
but
not
that's
godlike.
Yeah.
but that's what
That
you
was
do
like-
structurally as a goalie. Like when you're kind of floundering and at, you have
Yeah.
techniques.
It's more
that you
about
can
Timo
use.
saying like he's got to identify that and just move it an inch or two to the left, right, or up. And we
Now
gotta go.
that game winner, right, from Nemo, did it seem like it was going in slow motion for you guys, or was I just starting to get really high? Like
Go
I'm
with
like
that.
watching it, and it was like all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, he's splitting the
The
fucking
edibles
D.
just
He's
kicked right
behind
in.
everybody. He shot the fucking puck, and then it was like, even the delayed because Freddie got a piece of it, so the goal it wasn't, the puck kind of went in a little slower. The whole thing seemed like it took forever. It was awesome. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah, the first goal on Markstrom, like that snuck under his arm. That's that's kind of a goal scorer's goal, but these guys shoot so well now. Like I really have a hard time ever blaming a goalie for something that's really, really like, unless it's like really egregious. He's kind of
Right.
What I found interesting a couple times. So Cotter did it, and Brat did it on Mercer's goal. Is both of them were able to walk right around Jacob Slavin. Cotter did it on a nice little wide drive and had a nice shot, even though it's concrete shot. And Brat just absolutely dog walked him on Mercer's goal. It was pretty interesting to see that Slavin got walked and Nemo just put Gus's beer in a blender on that game winner there. So a lot of success kind of on little one-on-one plays, and just that was kind of it. We've been riding Palat all season, and he didn't do shit offensively again, but I got to say, the guy was throwing his body around like
He was heavy. He was heavy
He was
tonight.
throwing his body around
He
like a
was.
madman.
And Tim, back in like early wintertime, right? Like right after the holidays, when we actually talk a little bit about this series, and you actually brought up that the Canes forwards are not big, and we can put these guys down and over the course of a 7-game series, and especially this game, you really saw Devils completely out physically match them, and they blocked shots like it was their fucking job. So literally it was, but still, like, I mean, everybody bought into everything. Like they're doing what the Hurricanes did for years, and they did it. I what do you say about Dowling here? Yeah, he did. Then everybody played that. Doc Bastion had a fucking great game.
I thought so too. Would have been nice if he.
I actually at one point I had Bastion for the game winner late in the third. The way he was playing, I really thought he was going to net one.
That's adorable. Let's not get carried away here.
They had a great opportunity.
I
did have a great
one.
opportunity.
Think about that, Tim. Like, I want one goal from a.
We had 33 block shots tonight.
Jeez, I mean, come on, man. They outworked them. They outclassed them tonight. They played their asses off.
They outworked them the last game too. This series could at least be 2-1, and if we had a full roster, I swear to God, I really believe it would be 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it. I could totally see it. I mean, the Canes are good, but yeah, if Jackson this lineup and Siegs and came back for game one, if Luke is in this lineup, if Hamilton is 100%, all those guys are 100%. Yeah, we probably are up 3-0.
I just think it's a different series if we had our full team.
Yeah,
I don't think game one happens that way with our full team.
Yeah, you're probably right. But we have the guys we have, and to a man, like they all stepped up and kind of rebuilt, like my whole, they recreated us in the aggregate. They all just kind of gave that little bit extra.
That's all it takes. Every little guy finishing one more check, playing a little heavier, putting another puck on net. All that shit just adds up over the course of a game, and maybe that all added up to winning this game. You know what I mean?
Do you know who's really stepped up these playoffs is Mr. Jesper Bratt. He's been extremely good and noticeable the past couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely has. I mean,
he needed to.
Yeah,
and
he needed to. But
I love the physical nature that he's playing with. I just love the way he's just heavy on his skates, and he's not the biggest guy, so he's going to hit differently, but he braces. Like you could just see him kind of engaging his core, like you're not moving me off this. Yeah. You see that one play behind the net today where he was working real hard behind the net, and then out of the corner of his eye, he saw that big check coming.
Yeah,
He just kind of bailed just enough, so he didn't take the full grunt of it, and kind of went down and then quickly right back up to his feet, back on the play. Like that's the shit you got to do. You're talking split-second decisions that could change the outcome of a game because you're not giving up the puck outright in like a major scoring chance, or they're going to run down the ice the other way. Like those little plays are just everything. They're everything in hockey in the playoffs.
And you know what? I was thinking, like, with the way that Mercer's been playing this series, man, where he's just throwing himself everywhere, every dirty spot, he's in front of the net. He'll take the hit, he'll give the hit. He's playing pretty physical. And, like, I'm just thinking, man, when this guy actually does fill out and get tough and get strong, he has the potential to be a hell of a player the way he is. But we saw him be kind of, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't given 100% during the regular season sometimes, because this is a different Mercer. Like the last couple of weeks of the season, and in the playoffs, this isn't the guy we saw all year. And he's been playing really good.
There's some element of not fully understanding his role and which way they want him to go. Okay. So half of his brain saying, "Oh, I'm supposed to play like north-south forward," and the other half is be responsible. And I don't know. I mean, Tim could speak better to something like that as someone who played hockey for a very long time. But I think all the talent's there, and I think you can get either one out of Mercer. Yeah. You can just say at this point forward, you're a north-south guy, you're offense, or you can say you're kind of a two-way guy that's going to do a little bit of everything.
Mercer's always been like a very good penalty killer, and his 5-on-5 play kind of comes and goes a little bit. There's something to be said, obviously, for showing up every day to work, and fuck off, Ruff. And but yeah, he still kind of gets bounced around a little bit when he fills out.
He's not getting bounced around in these playoffs. And even you go back to that goal he had in that Boston game where he got inside position on Big Z there and scored that goal. Like, that's Mercer, like, playing tough. The kid could play tough, and he has no problem getting into the dirty spots, and we need that. That was the goal tonight,
Yeah.
So I love the way he's been playing, man. He's got to keep that shit up.
Yeah, no, Hollow was noticeable. Nason was pretty noticeable.
Tell me what about him on the Devils?
I don't think.
How about Holla in the first period though? Because I called him for first goal and he had that like semi breakaway. At least I'm like, oh my god, I got it.
So I thought he just biffed the puck. Chatfield came in with a nice stick on that and knocked it away.
I have to admit, I almost shit my pants when Dougie's stick exploded for no reason whatsoever at the friggin' blue line. I was like, "Oh!" And this is how it's
with 2 sticks after that.
So I noticed.
I noticed 2 sticks.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
I was going to say, isn't that a penalty? Yeah.
I don't know what happened to their power play, but for some reason, I feel like they kind of galaxy brained like the personnel and the structure and how they're laying it out. Because suddenly now Timo is spending a lot of time almost at the left point.
Yeah,
and Brat's on the other side on the right flank where Brat usually was when Jack was there. But like, I don't know why suddenly they switched that around. And now that they brought Dougie back into the power play, they've also brought Nason back in. They swapped Nason and Mercer, which I don't know why they did that. Like I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like they kind of galaxy brain something relative to like the Canes penalty coverage. And
what do you mean galaxy brain? What does that mean? What do you mean?
Oh, they just overthought it.
Oh, okay.
They're like, we're gonna do galaxy brain.
All right, I got you. I got you, right. Crazy person.
Did you watch? Yeah, did you watch this this bench brawl between Tom Wilson and like half of the?
I only saw a clip of it, but yeah, please explain this because I want to know what happened here.
I only saw kind of the clip of it too. My brother was watching it in the other room, but Wilson was on the bench and like he got into a fight on the bench with Anderson, and there was a ref in between them, and it was like a fucking crazy scrum. And then Wilson's like, I guess all the Montreal guys are like crying and whining about it and stuff like that. Wilson sitting on the bench going like making fun of it. It was so funny. It was so funny, man. I would do anything to get Tom Wilson on this team.
Yeah, we were talking about that right around that time. We were texting about like just some of the shit the Devils were doing to the Canes, like that simple, innocent shot Nason did after the first period. Like it wasn't even really a shot on goal. He just kind of threw it to him. Was enough to throw the Canes into a hizzy. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go. After every whistle, throw another puck on net. Just get them all riled up. Get them off their game. Just why can't we just be that pest team for once?
We were.
Right? We were. I mean, as far
Yeah.
as the hits and following up with our hits and stuff like that, we were. But then that little chippy bullshit right there, so innocent, was
Oh,
great. It
come
was
on, you
great to see.
fucking
want
you
more of it.
fart next to a cane in their building, and 16,000 people wanting fucking penalty for it. You know, I
They
mean,
do.
they are ridiculous.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
so did you think the officiating tonight was a little bit
A
one-sided?
little bit. A little bit.
no,
Just-
not at all.
just-
The ink's not dry on the check. What are you talking about, bro?
Dude,
Jesus.
it was. I mean, they got away with fucking murder tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And that was pretty freaking ridiculous. And yeah, whatever. We won the game, so
Won the
I'm
game.
not gonna
That was
bitch about it.
That was man, it's just a relief. When's the next Sunday? Is Sunday at 3?
3:30.
3:30,
Nobody, the NHL has no interest in the Devils doing anything in the playoffs
Crazy
without
ass.
Jack
No.
Hughes in the team.
Every podcast I listen to is just kind of like, let's not talk about that series. It's over.
Yeah.
Can't wait to
Tonight
hear what
was
they
a
all say now.
if you like hockey, tonight was a fucking great game.
It was an awesome
I
game.
mean, that was just a great game to watch.
Yeah,
I don't-
mean, if you tracked it throughout the period, like the score was virtually the same, the shots were virtually the same. Like there was
Yeah.
so much of like just two teams, who's going to make the mistake, and went all the way through to the second overtime. It was a very stressful game. It was a great game. Like
Yeah.
that's fun hockey. That's the type of stuff like when you do wind up winning at the end, like you almost forget to look back at like these types of games, but they're
Mhm.
so big. You know, it's just such a story within the game.
It's kind of, maybe it's a weird way to say it, but I'm almost proud of them for like how they came out and how they played and how they responded when Kovacevic went down, and how they just kind of stuck to their structure and kept things outside. And just Markey was awesome, and to a man, they were just fucking laying out and laying themselves.
What actually happened to Kovacevic? I saw
I have
nothing.
no idea.
You
I have
just
no
texted
idea.
he's not on the bench. I'm like, why?
That's what I saw. Like all the reporters, like one by one, like Amanda Stein, and then Daniel Amoya, and then Trey Matthews. They're all just kind of like not on the bench, not on the bench, not on the bench. So I have no idea, but I mean, I'll have to see what
They
Keith
didn't
says
sh-
for his post game.
Yeah, they didn't show anything. They never went to a replay. I have no idea
Yeah.
what happened to them.
We need
I gotta-
somebody back, or it's going to be Casey in the lineup on Sunday.
That makes me a little nervous, especially the way Kovacevic has been. He's fucking been a beast for us.
Well, he's been a
all
playoff.
year.
He's been a playoff defenseman.
Yeah,
It's
I
the best
mean,
way I can say.
yeah,
it.
like-
I love
and-
everything he's been doing.
It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You
I
know,
know.
like I was like, wait, we have like almost our full decor back, and like the way Dumoulin's been playing, he's been playing fucking awesome. I think we should explore an extension contract
God we
extension with
got
him as
him.
like a 7th day.
with a no trade clause for at least
Yeah,
8 years.
5 years, 10 million a year.
$50 million bonus.
Yeah, he can marry Fitz's daughter.
Does he have a daughter?
You know, he'll just let her fuck him
Yeah,
or let him fuck her.
no, he'd be a couple $1 million, like 7
So Mike Ruff's
like,
saying, yeah, a double
we-
overtime loss is very deflating. He's right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
big
and
time.
Coming to Sunday.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and there's
Does
all this.
anybody
Sorry.
anybody remember a couple of years ago during the Florida Panthers, fucking unbelievable first run to the Cup where they lost to Vegas, and when the Eastern Conference Final that year, Florida swept Carolina, and every game went into overtime. And that was the one that Rob Brindamore came out saying, "Well, it wasn't really a sweep. No, when you lose them 4 in a row, dude, it's
Yeah.
a sweep. It's just
I'm
because just because it happened in the extra period doesn't matter.
Yeah.
These guys might have a little bit of that history in their head, and they're you get into overtime. A double overtime loss like that, yeah, that could fuck you up. I agree.
Yeah, I am just very happy that we won that game. They got to come right back on a Sunday afternoon, which
Yeah,
has
don't mean shit.
been our bugaboo. Doesn't
Doesn't-
mean anything.
No,
we
no,
did
no,
this.
three-
We
we're
did this
good for
against the
three,
Canes.
dude.
We did this against the Canes too last 2 playoffs ago, where we actually kicked the shit out of them.
Yeah, no,
And,
game 3.
Was it game 3 or was it game 4?
Oh, it was 4. You're right.
Was it game 4? I forgot.
Oh,
And
I
then-
know. I thought it was 3.
Maybe it was 3. I forget. It might have been. I think it was 3. So they need to show up again. Hopefully we're not a total mash unit by then.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd
I don't
really
know.
like to know if there's any chance of like Luke coming back or,
Yeah. I have a feeling Luke might be done for the season.
I think he's done. He looked kind of like his brother coming off the ice.
Yeah.
The same old. Oh,
But he's done
Oh,
that.
no,
Luke's
it's-
done that 3 times though with the shoulder thing. I don't know if he dislocates it and they pop it back in and give him a shot.
Well, I'll say, while the playoffs are going nice and strong, all 3 Hughes brothers can watch from the living room of I don't know, their house in Michigan. None of
Well,
them are fucking
Jack's-
playing.
well, Jack's there apparently,
Yeah, I know.
and
I know.
Quinn's actually was at the Yankees game tonight. Apparently, so one of the little Twitter stalkers.
Oh, really? Why? Little
yeah.
brother's not in the lineup. You can't support the Devils. Fuck you, Quinn.
Apparently, yeah, fucking jerk.
That's not cool.
Speaking of the Canes, and their little Russian. Did you see the little drama coming out from that?
No.
They're
what I
Russian
missed.
Nikishin. Apparently, he hasn't signed his contract. Remember, that was kind of the hubbub, is that he came over and signed his ELC and Gritsuk didn't, and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Demidov signed his. So apparently Nikishin didn't sign his deal yet. And basically their representation came out today and said, like, yeah, Carolina is being like oddly difficult about this. And if he doesn't sign, he's just going to go back to Russia.
Why are they being difficult?
I have no idea. He said their management's just being very difficult about it.
That's
So
interesting.
interesting development.
All right.
I hate everything about the Canes, so it's good.
I do too. I hate them so much. I hate them more than the Rangers, I think.
Whoa.
No. Yeah, no.
Jesus
Tim.
Christ, dude.
That's just.
I mean, what?
I think we
Right
might have
now. Right now.
Are you geographically closer?
I
to
just,
North
no,
Carolina?
Tim's done. Tim's in timeout. You see, you made that comment. I got to put you in timeout
I love
just
this.
for a minute.
You have the power of God. This is great. Like, think about what you've done, son. Think about what you said.
There
This is
is
great.
nobody that we hate more than the Rangers.
No, not even in other sports. It doesn't even come close.
No, I hate the Packers. I hate the Lions. I hate the
fucking
Bears.
hate the Braves.
I
Not as
fucking
much as I hate the Rangers.
the Rangers.
Yeah.
It's the difference.
This is how it goes. This is the way.
Ah,
Let him back in. Let's see if he understands what he did.
Tim, I hope you thought about what you've done.
I hate the Canes more than the Rangers.
Oh, you're done.
I'm just kidding. Right now I do. Because we're playing
Well,
them. And I just like them.
yeah.
And I just like everything. I haven't even thought about the Rangers. I'm the one that
No,
signs up
Mike.
this podcast.
Mike, I would get rid of you if you were here. Actually, I can, but that's just rude. No, he is
No.
wrong. He's absolutely wrong.
No,
Yes, they
Mike,
fucked
you're
us in the
wrong.
playoffs, but Mike, no,
Rangers
no.
are the enemy number one. I'm the one that
It-
signs off this podcast saying "fuck you, Velikhead." So like, what
It's
are we
true.
talking about here?
I mean, we there is nobody. You don't live here right now. I know you once did, but now it
I'm-
might be
I'm
different. Maybe you were
closer to
too
them.
young to just
closer
know
to
that
them.
we are
saying-
surrounded by them.
I
Tim,
was
a
we-
too-
true,
they're-
a true
they're in-
sign off would be to fuck
was too young?
Belichick and Carolina.
No. I'm just saying, like the guys like Mike Ruff. No. Saying he doesn't live in Jersey anymore. He used to. I said maybe when you were younger and you lived in Jersey, you wouldn't realize that everyone around you was a Ranger fan, and they infiltrate us, and they stink,
And they
they
smell.
there's nothing good about them.
Fuck their sisters. And they all
Those are
talk
the
like
Canes.
this. And
Those are the Canes.
I
they
thought
all
that was
wear
a thing.
they all wear suits in lower bowl. Of
Well, you are
MSG.
mixing your hatred.
Canes are inbreds. Rangers are just fucking dicks.
I know. I lived in New York City for 20 years. I am very, very
Yeah,
well.
but you were living the good life there.
But this is
So-
actually does raise a good question, because I think
What?
there's no argument over who the Devil fans hate the most. But who do they hate second, third, and fourth? Where's your hatred lie? when it
I have to
comes-
go Philly number 2, like over the Islanders. I don't think there's a tremendous amount of hate for the Islanders. It's almost irrelevant. Yeah, they came up, they had this blip, they won 4 Stanley Cups, blah blah blah. You haven't done jack shit since. But the Flyers are assholes and their fans are dickheads.
So
So,
Flyers over
And
Canes?
there's some geographic hatred for you too.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
true.
live here. I just think overall in the total body of work, you still have to go Rangers, Flyers, and then the Canes.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
kinda-
my
I'm
order
kinda-
too.
I'm kind of with that too.
Yeah. And then who after? See, because then is it the Islanders next? Or
don't even-
is it
I
a
don't-
team
I-
like
I-
Tampa Bay who always, beat us in the playoffs? Or is it a Toronto? Or, Or is it then that just become kind of a personal
For
choice?
me,
Of who you hate the most?
yeah. I think it's
Those four though. It's
for me.
got to be
Boston's up there for me.
Boston's up there
I went to a
too.
lot of where I went to college. A lot of half my school was from Boston. So
Yeah.
just the fucking distaste for that accent, and I've also
So,
gotten
Mike-
horribly turned around in that city and lost, and it's impossible to drive there.
Rags, Canes, Tampa, Pitt.
Yeah. So Mike has the Rags, the Canes, Tampa Bay, and Pittsburgh.
Funny how your experience kind of changes things. Like in general, we've talked about this with the Hurricanes in the playoffs in all different years. There's been a very bad taste in our mouth. I think we beat them once out of the few times we've played them. Like I hate playing them. Where Pittsburgh, it's the complete opposite. I know we've lost to them too, but I also have very fond memories of beating them, and the end result of beating them was like a cup or two. So I don't put them there. Just like the Islanders, I don't put them in hatred because they're almost irrelevant. I'd almost rather hate like the Red Wings or even the Washington before
Ottawa.
the Islanders. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Because but Tampa, they have given us fits, and I do hate them. I have to put, and then them winning all the time kind of pisses me off too.
I never liked the Panthers. They bothered
and
me.
And they're another team. Yeah, they're kind of a big rivalry.
Who I hate too is LA, the Kings.
We always talk about teams we love and players we love. I like doing this hate session. This is fun.
Hate is
all right. Of course we hate LA, and I have a love-hate with Colorado. I hate that Colorado beat us in 2001, but I kind of really love so many of their players, and I enjoy watching them. I can't say that about, the Kings or who else beat us in the final. That was it, actually.
Yeah. I mean, on the back of my little hockey card from the Quebec Pee Wee tournament is Joe Sakic was my favorite player, and that's why I wore number 19.
I mean, hell of a player. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always been that way. Like there was just nothing that I've really hated about that team ever since they moved from Quebec. I really wanted to beat them, but I really wanted to beat them for two reasons: the back-to-back cups and Brodeur getting a cup over Waugh. That was like the two things that
fourth cup would have completely flipped the narrative, and then it wouldn't be a question.
Absolutely would have.
Absolutely.
Now it's still a question. I can see you go on both sides. If Brodeur won that cup, it's no longer a question.
I agree.
But I'm with you, dude. I don't know what it is about Colorado. Like when we were in high school, I got a Colorado Rockies hat for some reason that I didn't fucking care about, but I love.
I remember that hat.
I wore it like to death for like 5 years.
Well, that was like Larry Walker and Todd.
It was Larry Walker time. Exactly.
It was just like a perfect hat. And then normally, if any of my favorite teams, if another team beats them for a championship, I just automatically hate them. You're in the hate card like forever. But with Denver, I've been there a few times, starting in college, skated around down there, and then now my company's out there. I've been there a bunch of times. I've always liked their players. I've always liked kind of their look, the jerseys, everything. Like I just can't hate them.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
I really believe me, I hated them in 2001 and probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, I hated them for a while. But yeah, just overall, I can't hate them.
I don't hate a lot of Western Conference teams, I have to say. I do have a much softer side for Western Conference teams just because we don't deal with them. It's not a rivalry. So I actually enjoy watching Western Conference games over Eastern Conference. Well, not really. It depends on the Eastern, but I really like because I don't get to watch them a lot. So I love when hey, Winnipeg's on and I can catch them, or Vegas or Seattle. I like watching a lot. I loved watching Utah this year. They were fun.
They were fun.
Yeah. So there's a lot more teams I think I like that I hate. Everybody I hate's probably the normal ones I hate. The Rangers do enough. All right. So let's you want to play your game?
Yeah.
Well, we got several. We got to figure out what we
let's do your game. Let's do Year of the Devil, and then we'll probably wrap it up because it's getting super late and this is a live stream. So I got to work tomorrow.
All right. So Year of the Devil for our 2 people that are still online, and for everybody here again. These clues we're gonna do 8 kind of basic clues. We're gonna do 2 kind of layups. You only get one answer. You're gonna put it in your chat. First one to win, based on the timestamp. Who knows? Maybe we'll get something. Maybe you won't because we don't have much to give. If there's a tie, which there really couldn't be with a timestamp, we'll figure it out based on best looking or something like that. So remember, you can only answer once. Okay, so let's show the chat.
Can I
here
just
for the
answer, Mike?
boys.
I already did it, Mike. I got off for Sunday's game, so I can't do it for tomorrow. All right, we're ready.
I'm trying to show the chat, but I can't show my chat. Okay. So this isn't the best one I had. I didn't have a ton of time to get really deep on the clues, but it should be fun. Okay. So for this year of the Devil, we had 2 players tied with 12 power play goals each. One of the players was only a 43-point season and the other 83. So a big disparity between a forward with a ton of points and a forward with a moderate amount of points, but they both had the same amount of power play goals at 12. In this season, we were 5th in the league in goals against with 195. And reminder, when you're answering the question, it's going to be the season's end, 1995, not 94, 95. We had a 13-game winning streak from February 26th through March 23rd. Mr. Candanico, who had 4 assists that year, totaled 87 penalty minutes, which was actually only 5th on the team, behind the leader, who had a whopping 155. Goaltender Martin Brodeur had a 42-win season. We had the fewest power play opportunities in the league, but still wound up with the best power play percentage at 22.9%.
Well, you're getting guesses already.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing right in the middle of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat you to it.
No, you didn't.
So I'm not seeing our chat. You'll have to help me out with that in a second. In a 9-1 win against Pittsburgh, both John Madden and Randy McKay had 4 goals each.
Shit, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
We had 2 40-goal
not.
scorers that year.
Maybe not.
I think we're right, Chris.
I think we are actually.
The reason I picked this year, we actually beat the Carolina Hurricanes. The one time we beat the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round, 4-2. And we, in fact, lost the Stanley Cup in the finals.
That was 2001.
I see a couple of
Colin.
2001s here.
Colin got it.
2001. Yep. Colin was the first to get that.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
2001 season.
That was fun.
That's good.
All
That's like kind of that mushy in between our cups that could be one of like 3 different seasons.
So this is funny because, again, seriously, I literally Googled this year. I'm like, what year did we beat the Canes? Because I wanted something to feel good about. I did it right before the game started. I actually did it. The game started. I'm like trying to figure this out. So then I looked back at my notes because I couldn't remember like what years I've even done. Somebody should probably keep tabs of this. I guess it should be me.
I thought that was you.
We did, no, fuck no. We did.
Go
we
back
did
and
2000, 2001 tonight.
So
I had.
for your prize, Colin, just meet Bobby behind 7-Eleven for your handy.
We'll talk glory holes and all that kind of good stuff. I had the 03-04 season.
Okay.
I had the 05-06 season, and I'm pretty sure I did this. The 03 season, I did the cup winning season. I think that was
you
the first
did
one I
03
did.
already. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So I've only done one of the cups, but when you look at the grouping, I've basically done 2000 to 2006. I haven't there's no 80s in there, there's no fucking 90s. I'm just like, hey, I like all the successful years. But
That's
today
good.
specifically, I had to do.
Good.
because
Couldn't
I
be
had to
us,
do the year
Colin.
we beat the Canes. because fuck the Canes.
That was good.
We're gonna beat them
I
again.
remember that game where they both scored 4 goals. That was wild.
I
Yeah, I
was
remember
driving
actually.
back to Providence, and it was the best drive of my life. It's a 5-hour drive or 4.5 hours, and I would listen to the Devils games, and it was like you blacked out from like the Toms River exit up through New York. It was like that drive didn't even count because I was just having fun listening to the game. I love driving during Devils games.
And then you
Me-
hit New Haven on 95, and you're like,
And
fucking
then
put
you're
a
like, all
bullet,
right, fuck you.
put a bullet in my
Connecticut, you
head.
suck.
Dan and I
Why
were
are you even
watching it
here?
in our apartment in Lakewood. I remember that frigging game. There are certain games that you just remember exactly where you were, and I
How could you
remember
not?
exactly
By
where
the
I
way,
was that
it
game.
was Randy McKay who had 12 power play goals, along with Alexander McGillney.
I knew it was McGillney.
They had 43
yeah.
points that year. McGillney had 89 or something like that, but they both had 12 power play goals.
I knew
Randy-
exactly what years to look for because I knew McGillney had that
Yeah.
one year when you
It's
said
like-
that. So
He's like Bratton Neeson almost exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Except one's Alexander McGillney.
And it's just for Brett.
Not yet.
Not quite. Yeah.
Points wise, it's close. Brad had more points.
McGillney was a fucking goal scorer.
McGillney was an
Man.
absolute stud.
Yes, he was.
That guy was
So-
so fucking good.
I
Put him in the
loved when he
Put
came
him in the
here.
Hall of Fame. What the hell are we doing?
I'm
Should
with
be in
you.
the Hall of
Him and Eliash.
What was his first season? How many goals did he score his first season?
Who?
76.
McGillney.
Oh,
76.
McGillney. Yeah, it was
76.
in the 70s.
Or was that-
something, Yeah.
Or was that Timu Solani who tied?
Timo Solani was once in the.
I know
90s,
McGillney
wasn't
did it too, but either way, like that stat alone, Hall of Fame.
Ridiculous.
As a rookie,
Ridiculous.
70-something goals, Hall of Fame.
I don't think I've
Ti-
scored that many goals in like 12 years of beer league.
Rookie year.
And that's like 2 seasons and a summer season and like playing against some scrubs.
And that's another reason why I'm going to get off now because I have the post game paused on my phone on my TV, and I want to go back and watch
Is
it.
it Rachel?
No, it's actually Sheldon Keefe.
Shh,
That's
Rachel.
Sheldon Keefe is summoning me to my couch now, not Rachel Herzog.
Okay, I mean,
So-
if you go that way, that's
Yeah.
cool.
We out, yeah. And one of this, Mike just pointed out we outshot the Canes 35-25. We out Canes the Canes. We did
Yeah,
it.
we out
I like
Kane the Canes, and Jacob Markstrom said we're gonna do it again on Sunday. I fucking loved it.
I love it.
So-
I love it. A great game,
All right.
boys. That was fun.
And we will be back after the game on Sunday when the Devils tie this thing up and head back to Raleigh with all the momentum to make the little Canes start little pissing down their leg. Just a little piss.
Like a little bit of urine.
You and your
Little
cute
bit,
little
buddy.
forwards.
All right.
Let's
And
go,
we are
guys.
out of here, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out and staying up with us late. And wherever you're listening to us, do the shit you do, whatever the podcast person tells you to do. Subscribe on all that. We're the Uncle Puckers. We'll see you when we see you Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Suck a dick, Valicat.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
Sweet.